there's the feature match pit. Front table, Lucas Siow, Robert Jurkovic. Canada v Slovak Republic. Siow is one of these great young Canadian players. Team did some A+ preparation coming into this event.
Yeah, we're working with Alexander Hain. As we're speaking, we see that Lucas Siow's getting Gitaxian probed by Robert Jurkovic on turn 1. And
there we see a couple of Cavern of Souls. And there's the Glacier Fortress. Obviously comes to play tapped.
Siow's a player who finished second most recently at I think it was Grand Prix. Grand Prix Columbus. Grand Prix, the one that I wasn't at. You know, that's that's how I view them. And he also, in 2009, this was a player who was in the introductory era of split Pro Tours. Was the best constructed player in the world.
Probe me, I probe you.
Yep. A couple ponders. So there's Geist to St. Traffic got shot in a Rune Chanter's Pike.
We'll get those the deck list for both players in here shortly, but we can see right away blue's a color.
Yeah, well, this is a Delver on Delver violence.
And there we see the first Delver of what promises to be a number of them in these 4 rounds.
Sure.
And there's a Ponder from Robert Jurkovic. Another extremely good player, good Pro Tour resume.
He's won a World Team Championships before. You see he's got that gold medal around his neck. That indicates he is the national champion of the Slovak Republic. You know, he's been a Mox competitor.
Sure. He's got a Ponder again.
Yeah.
Ponder's a card that is going to get a player deep into his deck. It's going to get him the cards he wants, as opposed to the cards he just gets.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I love deck manipulation. You know from when we play Commander, I love anything that says draw a card, get a land.
We see that the Delver gone already. He's not going to give it the chance to transform.
And Siow knew that was going to happen. He had perfect knowledge of the hand. Oh, that is Aquarian Dryad.
That's a little bit of a techie choice.
And so he did.
16.
Yep. But Jurkovic had drawn another gut shot, so he could have actually played that in reverse order, so he could have seen what card he had drawn into. But obviously, Lucas wanted to get the counter on the Aquarian Dryad. I actually played a deck very similar to this at the PTQ. At a PTQ a couple weeks back. There's Invisible Stalker. Wow, we haven't seen him in a while.
Well, we saw that Jurkovic has the Rune Chanter's Pike in his hand, so it's already going to be kind of sizable.
15? Yep.
Yeah, that's already +5 there.
All right, Siow going in a little bit. We see Phantasmal Image in his hand. We see Thought Scour. From him, and we also saw there is. That's Mike Flores on that card, right?
No.
Yes.
He probes again. Siow dropping his own life total to 13.
Take 6.
7. Yep.
You have a couple turns. I mean, Siow's damaged himself quite a bit with his Gitaxian probes.
Yeah, he needs a fast answer.
Attack.
But again,
which is going to be what game 1? Like.
Invisible Stalker's hexproof.
Probably not main decking Artifact Destruction.
Thought Scour.
Thought Scour. He's going to play Snapcaster Mage, flashback on a Thought Scour. Thought Scour himself, going to game 2.
Wow. So sure, I mean, we're assuming Jurkovic is playing Delver, but you know, we saw Invisible Stalkers and Geistesay draft. Maybe he's just like, I'm just all in on playing this Enchanters.
There's got to be there has to be Delvers in this deck. Once again, we'll get our crack staff on those deck lists so we can bring the details to you.
See the players going on their sideboards.
What kind of plan do you expect?
Well, yeah, it's hard to say not knowing what the deck is. I mean, it looks like Lucas is siding out his Quarian Dryads, just not wanting to play that gut shot game.
The Magic Feather Case by Incipio lets your imagination flow. Keep your iPhone 4 or iPhone 4S protected from danger while showcasing Magic's awesome imagery, including the most popular planeswalkers and other amazing art.
I'll play first.
For more information, visit www.wizards.com/magicmerchandise. There we heard Luke Siow saying, "I'll play." Of course, you want this is very much a right. Tempo advantage kind of matchup.
Right. There are after all Delver decks. There are Delvers in Jurkovic's deck, so calm down. Looks like Lucas brought in Thragtusk.
Thragtusk, I mean, it's new M13 card. It's strong.
Lets him race. We don't know that he doesn't have also Restoration Angels or something like that going on in his deck. So yeah, he can really just put the game out of reach from Jurkovic's pressure.
Well, at some point he's got to. I mean, especially Runechanter's Pike can deal damage in big, deal damage in really
absolutely.
big chunks. We saw Jurkovic. He only played 2 lands that game. It was like a legacy match. He's got to be able to deal with the Pike. So, what kind of artifact removal might be in Lucas's package?
You can have. I mean, a lot of people are running. Artifact destruction, kill a flyer, destroy an artifact out of their sideboard. He's got green, so he's probably got. I mean, he can have naturalize. He can have. I don't think he's going to have ancient grudge. He didn't.
That does,
really playing red.
I don't think we saw a flash of red.
Yeah. Other than the gut shots.
All right, so we're going to go to game 2. You see there, nice sweeping shot of the feature match area here at the World Magic Cup, Indianapolis, Indiana. Gen Con. I ran into game designer, previous Wizards Coast game designer Tim Beach the other day. 24th Gen Con.
Wow.
First, not working. Good shot of Robert Jurkovic right there. And there's Lucas.
It's about as talkative as you'll see Robert at a Magic tournament.
Do you think players at this level just they aren't as chatty because they just don't want to give away any information?
No, he's just not chatty.
Right. So we have a deck list. We'll take a look at what the sideboard plans might be.
Ponder.
And we see turn 1 Island Ponder from Lucas Siow.
Yep.
Again, Ponder, a good card for shaping the hand that you want.
So Lucas is playing Delver with Quarian Dryad. As many squeezing in a bunch of Phyrexian mana spells. He's also got Talrand Sky Summoner in his main deck. As far as artifact removal, well, he just doesn't really have any. So his plan is Thragtusk. I'm going to gain enough life, and you're not going to be able to kill me.
We see turn 1 Probe from Jurkovic, and there is Delver. Using the checklist cards where Luke Siow chooses to use the.
Sure.
the regular card. Delver is transformed into insectile aberration, and it flies in for 3.
Quite possibly the fly we had on camera for Pro Tour. Ashton restored.
As nice shot at Jurkovic's hand. You see the Rune Chanter's Pike again. And he's... Is that Talrand in
Lucas's hand?
In Lucas's hand?
Yeah. He certainly has them in his deck.
Go.
I mean, really, I mean, what Lucas is playing is just blue-green Delver.
Okay.
Dot Scour from Jurkovic.
Wait.
Now there's a wait. Okay. And there's a Vapor Snag. Puts that insectile aberration back into the hand. See if we can get the our man on the scene, Rashad Miller, to get Jurkovic's graveyard where we can see it. And here comes Geist of St. Traft, which is met with Mana Leak. Obviously, kind of a telegraph from Lucas Siow that he didn't make a
This is the camera zone. Okay.
turn 2 play.
It's gonna be here.
So he had the Mana Leak up. There we go.
Drop. Ponder.
Siow ponders. Doesn't drop a land first. He's going to see what he has here. There we see Phantasmal Image is one of the 2, or one of the 3. And is that another Vapor Snag?
Yeah, it is. He's going to get that land. He's holding Talrand. We know he's holding Thragtusk. He really just wants lands 4 and 5 desperately here.
There's land number 4. It's an island. We see Lucas going a little old school with those white border lands.
It's like middle school.
Yeah.
There's another Geist.
Geist of St. Traft coming back again.
Me.
He's going to Thought to Scour himself. And peels off a Vapor Snag and another island. Phantasmal Image is going to take care of that Geist of St. Traft.
Yep. The blue Necrotal.
We see Jurkovic with no 4th land in his hand.
4.
We know that Lucas knows he has that Delver.
He's also got Moorland Haunt, right? So he can just work that at some point.
Drop.
So Jurkovic Maui here is up 1 game 0. Brian Kibler's match is already in game 3 with Daniel Antonio. Obviously, they're at 1-1.
The Hall of Famer update.
The Hall of Famer.
Wizard.
Right. He plays Cavernous Souls, naming wizards, but then casts Thragtusk.
Go.
That undoes a lot of work that Jurkovic has done over the last couple of turns.
Right. He does have a Pike more or less ready to go. It's just going to give him +3.
And you really don't want to Vapor Snag that Thragtusk.
No.
We see the Delver, the Vapor Snag.
Although, you
in
know,
Jurkovic's
desperate
hand.
Times, etc.
Sure.
There's the Pike. Goes on the Invisible Stalker,
4
which
total. Yep.
immediately
18?
goes in for 4. Take Lucas Siow down to 18. Here comes Thragtusk. Yeah, that's the other thing about Thragtusk. You know, it's also a tempo card of its own. Oh, there's Thragtusk number 2.
Hear a sigh from Robert Jurkovic, like, yeah. Aye.
Go to War, Miss Agnes. Double Thragtusk for Lucas Siow. And he's already got Jurkovic's life total down to 12. Jurkovic gonna ponder, looking for some answers. There's a Restoration Angel. Another Invisible Stalker. Is there ever really blocking with invisible stalker?
The pike gives you first strike. I mean, it's actually not an unreasonable situation.
22. 22. Yep.
It's hard to imagine that he's gonna. I mean, he is gonna attack.
Oh, in my hand. Sorry.
Yeah, Vapor Snag puts it back in his hand.
How much?
He's just gonna point that out
For 6.
to our man on the street.
It's for 6. 22 to 16.
He bounces it, gets in for 6.
He did for 6,
Obviously,
right?
holding some sort of counter magic to prevent it from coming back down.
Or at least he's representing some counter
Yep.
magic. You and I know that.
Go.
Well, he has.
Wait a bit. Oh, sorry. Go. Draw.
I thought it interesting watching the other rounds. As we see Siow get in with the Thragtusk and the Beast. Players even playing an M13 draft, drawing their cards as if there were
Sure.
miracles in play.
You get that hardwired in.
So Thragtusk 5-3, Beast 3-3, Jurkovic precarious life total of 12 as we speak. Now, Vapor Snag off of the Snapcaster Mage might create some time for him. Obviously, if he Vapor Snags the Beast, it's never coming back.
Sure. But he still has to do something about. Yep. Oh no, he's going to make a token. Wants to keep his creature bonuses.
And we hear that Jeremy Neeman has taken game 1 from Christensen on the back table. Australia positioning itself for a run.
Oh. Backbreaker.
Also, Snapcaster Mage for Lucas Siow to bounce the token.
Yeah, 9 total. Jurkovic goes down to 3. Phantasm Limage probably copying a Thragtusk.
Yep, there it is.
21. Go.
Lucas Siow up to 21. Jurkovic probably out of answers here at 3 life. He's going to Snapcaster probably for a Ponder.
Yep.
It is indeed Ponder to get into his library a little more.
Yep, those cards aren't going to work as it turns out.
Even one of the best cards in the format, Restoration Angel, no help for him right here.
Yeah, I'm not really sure I see how Jurkovic can handle the 2 Thragtusks.
Well, even if he can,
I'm curious what would have happened had he kept. Obviously, he has to exert some pressure, but if he kept the Invisible Stalker back,
the previous turn,
has it big enough to block the Thragtusk?
He's keeping it back now.
Well, he has to now.
Draw.
Even getting in with the Snapcaster Mage
Backstep.
means he's in danger of Vapor Snag. It doesn't look not looking good for Robert Jurkovic right now, even with the gut shot.
The Beast.
Yep, the Beast.
Okay. You have 20? 20?
Of course, that takes him down. That takes Lucas down to 20.
Right. So Jurkovic can go to 1 here, right? He puts that in front of the Thragtusk. He puts. Oh wait. Oh, and he's got. Oh, he targets it. Pays 2 life, so he still goes to 1.
Clever play by there by Jurkovic.
Yeah.
Was even another one.
But there's another Beast, and he's at 1 once again.
Oh, thank you.
Any Vapor Snag.
Beast
His token and
still has.
Tower.
Oh, he plays Tower.
Tower.
Ponder. Drake.
And then ponders and gets a Drake.
I got that.
So now he's got a flyer.
He's looking at another Thragtusk on top of his library.
Which he's going to shuffle
he's
away.
Like, I don't need that.
All right, so it looks like Robert Jurkovic in Game 2 has his back right up against the wall here in Round 4 of the World Magic Cup. First round of standard action. Sheldon, Menery, Brian, David, Marshall bringing it all to you. We will gut shot for the win. So we're going to go to Game 3. Lucas Siow, Robert Jurkovic. Deck's pretty much playing out as you expect them to play.
Sure. Curious if did we see any phantasmal images from Jurkovic? Maybe he brings those in to deal with the Thragtusks now, or at least level it out.
He starts he starts some kind of crazy you gain life, I'm going to gain life game, and
yeah,
you target my guy, and you know that seems a little defensive for a deck that likes to go on the offensive.
Sure.
Ultra Pro is the leading manufacturer of trading card game sleeves and deck boxes. If you're looking for official Magic 2013 portfolios, card storage boxes, deck boxes, sleeves, and playmats, Ultra Pro has you covered. For more information, visit www.wizards.com/magicmerchandise. We're going to Game 3. Lucas Siow, Robert Jurkovic, two, I would call these solid pro players.
Yeah, absolutely.
Competing here at the World Magic Cup.
To the shock of exactly nobody, I really like Lucas Siow's blue-green deck.
Blue-green, it's your colors. It's doing the Magic things you like to do, isn't it?
It is. It is. Creatures, card drawing.
Occasional counterspell.
Yeah, a little tricksiness. Sometimes creatures that are counterspells.
You love your Mystic Snake, don't you?
I do. I also love Snapcaster Mage too.
Snapcaster Mage, obviously a format-defining card. Multiple format-defining card at this point.
Yeah.
Along with Phyrexian Delver. Creatures are good these days. We love the
Thragtusk is so insane.
So you don't want to. Maybe you don't call a Lucas deck a Delver deck. You call it a good stuff deck.
I mean, it's blue-green Delver. It's Delver Grow, if you want to call it that.
The Quirion Dryad, that relatively new addition.
So that's a card that has never been legal in the modern format. It's been out of. Oh no, actually it has, because it was in 10th. It was actually in like 10th edition.
Yeah.
So there are a handful of cards in M13 that have not been legal in modern before. But I played a Rug Delver deck at a PTQ recently, and a lot of people saw I had played with my old Quirion Dryads, of course. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, I had no idea that was a reprint." Like Allan Comer sheds a tear somewhere.
Quirion Dryad first printed in Plane Shift.
I believe so.
And Allan Comer, of course, of his 10-land
Miracle Grow deck. Brian Kibler with the Super Grow deck. Variants on it. I mean, those are all decks that, revolved around getting a Quirion Dryad into play, resolving a number of quick cantrip-y blue spells, very similar to the blue spells we have available today, and growing your Quirion Dryad to kind of awkward heights.
All right, there we see the players with their opening hands. Jurkovic, who is going to be on the play, has a handful of land, a Delver, and Lucas Siow is going to go to 6.
He only had one land in his hand, and his deck is a little more mana hungry than Jurkovic. We saw Jurkovic win on 2 land in game 1. He's just like, okay, I've got an Invisible Stalker. Okay, I'm gonna make installment plans on this Runechanter's Pike and I'm gonna kill you. Where we see Lucas digging for land with his Ponders, trying to get to 5 mana so he can resolve his Thragtusk. He can, get his Talrand and a spell.
And we saw Runechanter's Pike in Robert's hand, so he's on the plan. He's got a quick path to victory already planned out here.
Right. And
when you're likely to face down something like that, you're not happy to be going to 6.
No, but you don't want to keep. Well, it looks like he brought back in the Dryad.
There is the Delver of Secrets.
Myself?
There's a Thought Scour from Lucas. Peels off a Ponder and a Cavern of Souls.
Sounds like we have a result on the back table.
We do indeed. Brian Kibler has taken down his match to go to 3-1.
Go.
Beating Rising Star Daniel Antonio of Cyprus.
Meanwhile, a Gutshot takes out the Delver over here.
Invisible Stalker is probably a little more dangerous for that Rune Chandler's Pike. And it's really the Pike that's the issue here for Lucas.
Nope.
Oh,
myself.
Sort of. There's no spells in Jurkovic's yard yet. What Lucas was looking for was that green land so he can get his
draw
Dryad online.
There it is.
Nope.
Quirion Dryad. So those of you folks who haven't seen the Dryad before, when Lucas casts a non-green spell, gets a +1 counter.
Actually, it's specifically a red,
Black,
white, black,
right.
or blue spell.
True.
Not
Good
an
point.
artifact
That's
spell.
not an artifact. Right.
So, you know, it's generally been splashed in blue decks. Mike Flores famously played it in a mono black deck.
Just every Ponder, every Thought Scour, every little thing he does, and remember when he flashes back the
16.
The 1-mana spells. Dryad keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Sure.
There is the Rune Chandler's Pike from Robert Jurkovic. The land, and he's going to equip it.
Okay.
Go. Yeah, turn 2 Quirion Dryad, turn 3 Gutshot something, Snapcaster Mage, Gutshot something, and you've got a 4/4 attacking on turn 3.
Phantasmal Image. In response, he's going to Gutshot the Dryad.
He responds in kind to Gutshot you, make my guy a 2/2.
You have 14, yeah? I'm at 14. You're at 19? 17.
17 for Jurkovic,
Oh,
right?
17, right.
And looks like the image is going to resolve.
Copy. Oh, sorry. Copy the Dryad. Okay. 15. Oh, wait.
Wait, he says.
Got shot you. 4 damage.
Okay. Lucas Siow playing Gutshot into the face of Robert Jurkovic.
You realize this is not mono green in fact, right?
You go to 16 and then you go to 13. So 12, 13?
Get those life totals right.
I'm at 12. Right?
Okay.
I was at 14?
Yeah. He takes the 2, of course.
Same.
He pays the Phyrexian mana, which cost him 2 life. And we've got those are the correct life totals there. Siow at 12, Jurkovic at 13. Jurkovic going to get right into it.
10.
Attacking for 3. Looks like Snapcaster Mage is going to Gutshot Phantasmal Image, which is going to kill it, regardless of how big it is, because, of course, Phantasmal Image.
So
because of contractual obligations.
Yeah. So it looks like a good round for Hall of Famers. Jelger Wiegersma has also won his match. Also putting him in the 3-1 bracket.
Nope.
Jurkovic, 1 card left in his hand as Siow untaps.
And no instants or sorceries in his graveyard. So he's just given his Invisible Stalker first strike right now.
I receive Vapor Snag in Siow's hand. Of course, Snapcaster Mage probably not the thing you want to Vapor Snag.
Sure.
Go.
Attacks for 3.
He's got 2 of them.
We see Jurkovic has peeled a Phantasmal Image of his own. That seems pretty good, the Vapor Snag. Jurkovic will get into the red zone with both creatures. Invisible Stalker.
7.
How do you feel about getting into the red zone?
I love getting into the red zone. I cannot lie. And we'll drop Lucas down to 7. So we got a tight. He
doesn't want to give him any targets, for desirable targets for the
no blocks.
Yeah, he's like, all right, after blocking.
He's going to bounce it because there's nothing in Jurkovic's graveyard right now to flash back with the Snapcaster.
7, and then 3.
So that takes Jurkovic down to 3.
Go.
He's got to find an answer here.
Yep.
He's going to flash in
just plays the
as a guy.
Snapcaster.
Geist to St. Traft.
So he's going to be able to.
Could be a little bit of help here.
Well, he gets in for 3 here.
There's the Geist.
Geist might be on chump duty.
Yeah, all he needs is the 1 turn here. Because he's going to, like you said, he's going to get in for the 3.
Okay. Okay.
Covers the Invisible Stalker. Gets in for 3. So, I mean, Lucas still has 2 turns, right? You know, if he can Vapor Snag the Phantasmal Image, Jurkovic has to block the Quarian Dryad.
He can't Vapor Snag the Phantasmal Image. It's a...
Oh, it's an Invisible Stalker.
It's an Invisible Stalker.
Ooh.
See, that was the clever play from Jurkovic.
Yeah, yeah.
Copying a hexproof guy seems pretty good.
4.
Siow takes it, goes to 4. Let's see what he's got up his sleeve. Obviously, there's a block coming here. He's got to. I mean, obviously, Lucas has to worry about the crackback on. He's got to worry about the crackback on the Angel from Geist.
Yeah, well, the Geist, he can't let the Geist hit him.
So we saw he drew a gut shot. So he's got gut shot, Vapor Snag. What's the 3rd card in his hand?
Mental Misstep. I don't think he can pull this out.
Go.
He's at 4. There's a Ponder. He's going to mental misstep that.
Paying the alternate casting cost of a blue mana.
2.
So he's going to have to battle. He's going to battle with everybody, and there's just...
So,
oh, he's not going to battle with the...
So get in for 2 with the Invisible Stalker because due to the Ponder. That's unstoppable.
I'm at 4, right?
Yeah, I don't...
Yep.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't understand why he doesn't attack the other Invisible Stalker as well.
So it's his best hope. So he blocks the Geist of St. Traft. Vapor Snags the token. And he's still taking 4 because he has to deal with the Snapcaster Mage. He can't deal with the Snapcaster. Oh, he does have a gut shot, but that's going to cost him 2 life also.
Correct.
So.
Yeah, I don't think there's...
But he's thinking it through.
Bounce.
Yep.
Yep, there's the handshake. So Robert Jurkovic, 3 exciting games. Takes the match 2-1 from Luke Siow of Canada. And looks like we might be able to go to the Christian Neeman match on the back table. Brian David Marsh going to look through those deck lists to get us a... So, Canada, one of those teams that we thought was going to do really well. Oh, there we are back in the booth.
Hey, everybody.
I'm Sheldon Menery. He's Brian David Marshall. We are in round 4, first round of standard action here at the World Magic Cup. Nice tight match. We're probably going to see a lot of that kind of standard.
Well, it was kind of interesting. So, I mean, both players were playing Delver decks, but 2 very different takes on on it. We saw the sort of the blue-green, Miracle Delver, Delver Grow, whatever you want to call that, versus the more, kind of almost like an old school, almost like a throwback classic Delver with the pikes and the Geist of St. Traft.
Right.
And, we're going to see another Delver deck here when we go to the back table. Allan Christensen is playing you know, a very similar deck. Geist, Delver, Snapcaster, Restoration Angel. He also has the Pike, so it looks very similar to the deck we just saw Robert Jurkovic playing. On the other hand, Jeremy Neeman of Australia, we're going to see him playing zombies.
Oh, I love the zombies.
So he says his deck is called Dead Giraffes. Not sure what that means. But he's playing Gravecrawlers, Ghouls, Blood Artists, etc. He's got a little bit of blue.
Okay, so we are going to head back out to the feature match area. There is Allan Christensen and Jeremy Neeman. We're going to get game 3. Zombies wants this game over relatively quickly.
Well, this is actually not true. This is, sorry, I did not deliver the full information when I said zombie.
Okay.
I should have completed it and said zombie pod.
Interesting.
So we've got some birthing pod action here.
So what's Jeremy Neeman gonna do there?
There's
a good shot of him there.
Yeah, he's going to Geralf's Messenger into Skinrender or Geralf's Messenger into Phyrexian Metamorph. He's got Thrag Tusk that he can pod up.
So this is a black-green zombie version. Very techy.
Blood Artist to sort of get a little extra value out of all of his birthing pod activations.
So this should shape up to be another tight down to the wire match. As we just saw in the Siow Jurkovic.
Well, I can't imagine that Jeremy Neeman would be playing this deck if it didn't have a good matchup against Allan.
Sure, I mean he's a pro. He's tuned in. There you see him with the national champions medal on.
I love those medals.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That was a Scott Larrabee idea.
Yeah.
There's this pride. We love our countries. We love representing our countries. These guys, 71 teams came here, and sure, they're coming to play Magic, but they want to come to play Magic representing their country. You know, there's national pride at stake as well as
works out 3 points more than ours, but
Magic notoriety,
we don't have an 0-3,
cash and prizes.
2-1-1, and for some players, getting here is quite the honor. They get flown to Gen Con to compete for their country. They're like, that's awesome. We're the 4 best players in our country, and maybe that country isn't expecting much of that. But then there's again some teams that are like, well, we really want to show that we've improved from the last time we competed, and we want to make day 2.
Yeah, Marshall and Zach were talking about that earlier. If you were tuned in, about not everybody is focused on winning coming here. First step is make day 2. Then we'll talk. Once we get into pool play, things can happen. But we just want to make 2, and we are off to the races.
Smells like Gravecrawler. Oh no, it's a Diagraph Ghoul.
Smells like Ponder.
Whole room smells like Ponder. Let's be honest.
What card are you going to miss most when M12 rotates out?
Shuffle it up.
So from M12 or just in general?
Just
like
in
from the
general.
Scars of Block?
Yeah.
I can't tell you. I'm going to miss the Wellsprings.
Okay.
And it's like kind of like we hardly knew ye, but like I've been playing with Wellsprings and Trading Post, having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I'm really sorry we're not going to get enough of a window for those cards to gel into a deck.
All right, Diagraph Ghoul, of course, is a 2/2 for 1 mana. Only downside is it comes in a quick tapped. Zombie deck doesn't do a lot of blocking anyway.
Sorry?
Keep your radar inside.
All right.
So we are going to see Neeman casting nothing. Did we miss an attack there?
He did bash.
Okay. Christensen drops down to 18. There's a really good shot out in Christensen's hands. Celestial Purge, obviously a handful against the zombies.
16.
Just
Ghoul
perfect
coming in.
card against something like Geralf's Messenger.
Yeah, he certainly wants to take care of one of the Undying guys, or one of the real problem cards.
Speaking of Undying guys, I see a Butcher Ghoul. in Neeman's list. Butcher Goal is something that lets you pod up into 2 Charles Messengers. You pod, comes back with Undying, and then you go get another one, and you get 2 Charles Messengers on the board. I'll scour myself.
The Restoration Angel we see there at the top. Another good look at Allan Christensen's hand. We see a Delver. See him.
Another Thought Scour.
Another Thought Scour.
Again, you know, he's playing the Pike. So he's playing very similar list to what we just saw in Jurkovic. So he's just stocking up his yard, gets 1 hit in. You know, need 2 turns with, well, he doesn't have Invisible Stalker.
I have those guys as well.
There is the Delver. We do know that Jeremy Neeman has a Tragic Slip in his hand. And alongside Cavern Souls.
Curious if Jeremy's gonna, yep.
Not for long though.
Not fool around.
Should I leave it there or?
Now, Miracles being a real thing here, players are gonna look at the top their top card draw every time. We see the Birthing Pod in Neeman's hand. He also sees that Christensen has Counterspell mana up.
Yep. Yep.
So it's a
Gravecrawler.
An uncounterable Gravecrawler, as it turns out. Christensen is going to play Celestial Purge on the Gravecrawler, which makes a great deal of sense. You don't want that coming back. And another Delver. You know a card has reached a certain kind of status when you never hear anybody say the entire name of the card.
Sure.
Delver of Secrets.
It is the Madonna of Standard.
There we see Mana Leak that Allan Christensen is being fond of. Another Celestial Purge in his hand.
Take it.
Meanwhile, the lowly Diagraph Gold just
Yeah. But he's getting in there. I mean, Christensen's down to 12.
Good.
Neeman wants far more pressure here than he's getting.
And he's respecting the Mana Leak. Take advantage of that window to Tragic Slip.
Oh, sorry. End of turn.
Yep. He's like, well, you're tapped down and only have 1 mana and can't Mana Leak this. I'd really like to kill your Delver of Secrets.
Well, you can pay for Mana Leak too.
Yeah.
But having Birthing Pod and no guys to pod away.
Yeah. By the way, it's pointed out to me on Twitter. We talked earlier about Quarian Dryad. An artifact could grow Quarian Dryad.
If it were a colored artifact.
For Exceed Metamorph, for example.
Yeah.
But you knew what I meant.
Well, there's a very techie, phantasmal image from Jeremy Neeman. That is going to much take care of that Geist Saint draft.
It's going to be weird to see Standard with that card gone. Phantasmal image.
Yes.
It's been such an important card for the last year.
Well, I mean, it's been in a number of decks. It's easily splashable.
Yeah, well, it does. It just does. It's in the Delver decks. It's in the Ramp decks. It's, you know, in the Esper.
Yep.
You know, crazy decks.
Thought Scours himself gets a Snapcaster Mage. Didn't see the bottom. We didn't see the bottom card there. It was a Moorland hunt. We hear from Cracked Staff Rashad Miller out in the feature match area.
Rashad the Hat Miller, a.k.a. Two Soups.
There we see a pike. We see
With a sword?
a sword, like a Sword of War and Peace. cool art. Flaming swords. Flaming swords, fantasy trope that sort of never gets tired.
No singing swords, though. Another pike.
Again, Neeman's, Christensen is pondering. He's trying to get into his deck.
Shuffle that. Yeah, he's like, I need a creature.
Yeah, you can't equip up nobody.
It's like, I've got an arsenal here.
One card.
So Jeremy Neeman down to 1 card, confirmed by Allan Christensen.
Which we know is Birthing Pod, right?
We know is Birthing Pod.
Sort of in a similar situation with that Birthing Pod. No creatures.
Without somebody.
Equipment, no creatures on either side.
Without somebody to pod away.
They're both just looking for somebody to love.
Neeman, it looks like Neeman has put Christensen on a mana leak, so he's going to wait till he has a sufficient amount of mana.
Sure.
To be able to cast Birthing Pod, pay the mana leak, and still activate it once he has a guy. He's drawn a Tragic Slip. And we see he paid the Phyrexia mana. Birthing Pod lets you do that. That leaves him the 3 mana up in order to pay for the mana leak.
Yeah, Ponder again. That
Rune Chanter's Pike is going to be
it's going to be a 1-hit.
Yeah. He's looking at him.
He's like, I really want to keep this Celestial Purge, but I also kind of want to shuffle.
Yeah.
All right.
It looks like he has shuffled them away. Ponder's one of those cards.
Spin the wheel.
Ponder's one of those cards that you have to play. You can't just dump it on the table. There's a lot of thinking to do about it, and pondering poorly can cost you games.
Yeah, you're locking yourself into a path for the next couple turns.
Draw.
And draw. Is it? Oh, it's not a creature. It's a hand of equipment and a mana leak.
Sure, he's going to run the Rune Chanter's Pike out there. So there doesn't seem to be any downside to that at the moment. Another Cavern of Souls for Jeremy, who just quickly says go. Blade Splicer in Allan Christensen's hand, which he's going to run out there.
What? No, sorry.
Okay, he's going to tap his mana, right? So he, in addition to getting a 1/1 guy,
go ahead.
He gets a 3/3 colorless golem, which is an artifact. So now he's got 2 things to equip up.
Well, it's good. He's got a lot of equipment.
That's I mean, the Blade Splicer was a top deck that really changed the tenor of this game pretty quickly.
Well, I mean, again, any creature was going to do that for him.
Well, Blade Splicer gives him 2 creatures.
Yeah.
And by the way, his golems have first strike.
Illusion. Yep.
So we hear him say illusion. He's going to play a Phantasmal Image off of a freshly laid cavern.
Now, Allan Christensen has mana leak mana here. He has the mana leak. He's
okay.
Oops. He's like, okay, I used a cavern.
So, a slight misplay from Allan Christensen.
Yeah, and now he can copy the Blade Splicer, get a token. He can now pod the Phantasmal Image into Skin Render and kill the token and erase all of Allan's creatures in one fell swoop.
So, what was a sort of quiet little back and forth for a while has now jumped into a great deal of action very, very quickly. There's the pod activation.
I'm assuming he's going to get Skin Render, unless Skin Render was sided out for some reason.
Birthing Pod allows you to sacrifice a creature to get another creature and put it onto the battlefield. The creature's converted mana cost is 1 greater.
Right.
So he can't get Skin Render, it costs 4.
Yeah, Phantasmal Image is a copy of Blade Splicer.
Oh, right.
Which has a converted mana cost of 3.
Right.
Yep.
You're right.
Although it looks like 2 on the table, it's actually 3. If we were playing on Magic Online, right, it would be converted to an, an illusionary version of the Blade Splicer. So he's thinking, he's looking at his graveyard. He's like, yeah, you got it.
Yeah, that skin render certainly was the top of his list.
And then Tragic slipped the Blade Splicer.
And now
I have 2 3/3s.
Now it looks like Jeremy Neeman's back in business. Half a turn ago, Allan Christensen looked like he was in the driver's seat, and now we've seen a pretty good counter punch from Jeremy Neeman.
Now a turn from now, he can convert that skin render into a Thrag Tusk,
which gets him really going.
Yeah, pushes him up to 23. He doesn't have anything. That is the absolute top of his curve here, unless he has something in the sideboard that he might have brought in. I don't think so. He does have a Massacre Worm in his sideboard, which...
There's Geist of St. Traft from Allan Christensen, which he then equips up with the Rune Chanter Spike. And again, that's going to be a lot of damage coming Jeremy's way this turn. We'll get try to get an exact count on what his graveyard is. He's stacked
11D.
11. Yeah. We can't see. He's got it straight in his stack. So
he's got about an inch of instants and sorceries by my eyeballing.
So he's going to pot away the token and get another Gravecrawler.
Well, it looks like he played a second Birthing Pod, and now he'll go get a Phantasmal Image. And nuke. That's pretty nice.
And he'll recast the Gravecrawler because he has a zombie in play.
Well, that was exciting.
Well, you see the kind of synergy that Neeman's deck creates here. So he can just keep getting stuff and getting stuff and getting stuff. Rashad tells us there are 10 instants and sorceries in Allan Christensen's graveyard. So eventually, if their creature lives long enough to stay equipped with that, it will be a lot of damage.
And there's a second one in his hand, so you can just one-shot him from 20.
Skin Render gets into the red zone. Drops Allan Christensen down to 8. I believe is the correct life total. Okay, nothing from Allan Christensen.
Just
Skin Render.
Celestial Purge on that Gravecrawler. Just get it out of here. And here comes Thrag Tusk.
Time for the beast.
Christensen drops down to 6.
Jeremy goes up to 19.
Which is still 2 hits from anything equipped with that
And
pike.
he's got a second pike. It's 1 hit.
I mean, Jeremy's got to be aware that Snapcaster Mage at end of turn is a real thing that could happen.
Right.
Allan Christensen only with 1 card. And it was a Glacial Fortress that he drew. So he's in a bit of trouble. Thrag Tusk comes in, drops him to 1.
And what's it gonna be?
Here's the peel. It's Vapor Snag, which in the end doesn't help. I mean, it's gonna save him a turn.
It's gonna let him look at another card. Both players get a chuckle out of that.
Maybe not the best play in the world.
You hear Allan Christensen say maybe not the best play in the world.
Really do.
The ever pragmatic Neeman shrugs. He's like, well, that's your only play.
Yeah.
He's going to pot away.
Sorry, I'm on 23.
He doesn't. There's no creatures to kill with Massacre Worm.
I think he's probably going to pot away the token and get another Gravecrawler. Get that started.
He's had two of them Celestial Purge so far. So.
Right, and he's got the second, so now he can pod that Gravecrawler away again, go get Phantasmal Image, copy Thrag Tusk, and just make.
And then pod that away. Well,
no, he's gonna.
If he gets a 2, next turn he can pod it away for.
Instead he gets
Messenger.
Instead he gets Butcher's Ghoul.
Yep. Seems good.
And brings back the Gravecrawler.
Yeah, I mean all he needs is Geralt's Messenger next turn, right?
Yep.
I'll try.
So big turn here for Allan Christensen. He's at 1 precarious position. Something good, he says. He turns his deck, looks for a miracle.
Yeah. That's probably not going to do it.
Divine Offering.
Well, that's going to gain him some life. It's going to gain him enough. Nope. Extends the hand. Jeremy Neeman takes down Allan Christensen 2 games to 1.
No creatures.
More exciting standard action.
This was some weird
here from the World Magic Cup.
Yeah, I love Zombie Pod. Zombie Pod seems awesome.
Zombie Pod is really spicy, and it's, I mean, it's kind of, again, it's a deck you got to play a little bit with. You can't just slap them down and let them do their business.
I've seen people talking about versions of Zombie Pod where you pod your Geralt's Messenger into Restoration Angel.
And they're already out of guns.
And so you can just be like, oh, no, my Geralt's Messenger comes back. I pod my Geralt's Messenger into Restoration Angel. You know.